Hi guys, and welcome back to the second part of how I got my driver's license in Italy. Cheers. So if you've not seen the first part of how I passed the theory test, the link is in the description box. Go check it out before you watch the second part. So after the theory test, it's time for the practical test. And I thought that was cool because, I did drive before and it's no big deal. Until I went to the driving school to book my appointment. And I was told in Italy, you cannot do your test with an automatic car. And I was like, oh my gosh. Are you serious? Is this for real? They'd be like, yes, you have to do it with manual. I am somebody who does not even know anything about manual. I never thought I was going to drive a manual car. It's 2018 and we take tests in automatic and everything. So I thought it was, it was like this. Oh, it was like this here. But unfortunately, the answer was no. And that was when my nightmare started. I was like, oh my God, I have to learn how to drive a manual car from the scratch. Yes. So I started. I went for my first lesson and I was taught about, the shifts and everything, how to, change the gears, second, first, third, boo, 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 boo. And with a clutch, drop it out, which is a clutch. And whatever is that. During the early stages, I was just putting off the engine, especially if I had to stop and move, I'll just put it off because either I take my leg off the clutch too fast or I don't give it enough gas. And we just did at the traffic lights, at the junction, it was crazy. So I was paying so much attention to the gears that I wasn't even paying attention on the road. But I had my instructor next to me, so it was cool. So after struggling with the manual and changing the gears and all that, I became cool with it. And I wasn't stalling the car anymore, and I had made improvement. So I did register, and I did get a date for my exam. For my test. One of the reasons why I say this is one of the most difficult drivers test in the world is the fact that in Europe they have very narrow roads, especially where I live. The roads are narrow. If you're not used to driving in such, an area, you're gonna mess up. The roads are so narrow that, it's just okay for one person. So either you be disciplined and stay in your lane, or you're gonna move to another person's lane. And here I was so used to, a wide road, and you could, shifts a little to the right and shifts a little to the left, but this was either you go straight or you end up in somebody's lane. It is crazy. And most of the narrow roads have those water channels along them. So if you miss, you're gonna fall in it, and that is it. That is, you're done. Ciao, bye bye, you're gone. So it's crazy. You have to be very disciplined to drive here. Another thing which makes driving so crazy here is the fact that there are so many bicycles. Yes, so many bicycles. So imagine these narrow roads that you have to, stay in very well. Sharing this with a cyclist is crazy. It's very, very crazy. Sometimes you have to go slow behind them because if you don't have the chance to, do an overtaking, you don't want to do a dangerous overtaking. So you have to just stay patiently behind a bicycle. So imagine driving behind a bicycle. It is so crazy, especially in the summer. Also, during the summer, if you're taking your test in the summer, it's crazier because there are many bicycles and there are many, motor riders, because it's hot, everybody wanna ride on the motorbike or something. So that is it. And you know, if you're driving with motor riders and bicycles all around you, you have to be extra careful, or it's just that crazy. So the day of the test came, and they took us to the center. I mean, we had to do the test with the driving school car because we are used to it, and I don't know if you can do it on your own, because on the day of the test you have to have your instructor beside you controlling the pedals in case of an emergency, and the examiner is behind you. So that is it. And they took us there. We were 4, 3 girls and 1 boy. 3 girls and 1 boy. So it was my turn. I was the third person. It was my turn to go, and before I even went, there was a 14-year-old boy who wanted to take a different kind of license, which he can use to drive smaller cars like the Smart and the motorbikes, the lower cylinders. So the examiner did ask him, it was so funny because I was just signing beside him. The examiner did ask him, what is the use of the helmet? Why do you have to wear a helmet? And the boy was like, oh, if you don't wear the helmet and if the police sees you, you're gonna be in trouble. And the examiner did ask, so that is the reason why you have to wear the helmet, because of the police? Say yes. If you don't wear it, you're gonna be in trouble with the police. I was just laughing throughout. I had my exam to think about. I had my test to think about, but it was so funny. It made my day. I was just laughing. So I did go there. I did go to the examiner. The first phase of the practical test, that is the questions outside the car. Either he's going to tell you to open the bonnet and do the point and tail, or he's going to ask something about the tire. He did ask about the tire. What are you supposed to check on the tire before getting out of the house, moving out of the house, before driving a car? And I was like, you have to check about the tire, you have to check the pressure, you have to make sure it's not old, you have to blah blah, all those stuff. And he was like, okay. So we went into the car, and in the car you're gonna ask the second part of the question, and the second part is about the lights, the danger signs, the risk signs. What is this? If you have the parking brake on, what does this signify? What does that signify? They are so easy, blah blah blah. And then we had to get to the road. Now, during my test, I drove for about 35 minutes to 40 minutes. Let's say 35 or 40 minutes in the maximum. Now, before you start, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do a reverse, going straight behind you. So I did my reverse, and you look behind you, and you make sure you're not going too close to the edge of the road, or you're not going too far from the edge. So you go in and you check a little bit. If you're too far, you go a little to the right side, and if you're too close, you go a little bit to the left side. So I did that, and I went, and it was like, okay, it's okay. And I stopped, and I had to do an emergency stop. So emergency stop, you go in the first, second gear, and maybe he's gonna tell you to stop before something, maybe a tree or something. You have to stop before I have to go in full, the second. You have to go in full second. Like if you're driving and a dog just jumps in front of you, or something just comes in front of you, how you're gonna stop? How you're gonna stop in this emergency situation. So I did that. And after that, we move ahead, and I had to do the 3-point turning. And what they are actually interested in is whether you are paying attention, whether you are looking, if there is something coming, there's a car coming, there's somebody behind you, the safety precautions. That's what they're looking at. They are not so interested in your driving skills. They just want to know if you are very safe, if you drive safely. And I did that. I did a 3-point turn. Don't forget your indicators. Before you even stop to do the 3-point turn, you make sure you indicate that you're stopping on the right, because you drive on the right here. You're stopping on the right. Check your mirrors. Then stop, first gear. Go to the right still with an indicator. Then reverse. Make sure you're looking behind you. Always checking your mirror to make sure everything is okay. Even if you just have to make him know that, make him see that you're checking your mirrors, even if you're not looking at anything. So I did that, and I finished with my 3-point turning, and I had to do a parking, reverse parking. You can do a reverse S parking, that is a parallel parking, or bay parking, reverse bay parking, that is what they call the L parking. And I did the L parking, and I did it at a go. I didn't have to fix it. I just landed in the parking lot perfectly, and after that we had to go to the road. Now we started and we were going. I was a little bit nervous, but it's just normal. If you have to take a test and all that, you're nervous, especially with a manual car. So we went ahead, and I got to my first runabout. I had to go left, and if you have to go left, you have to indicate with the indicator to your left and enter in the inner lane. Then as you get into the third exit, you would have to change lanes to the right using your indicator always. Then you go away. So that is what I did. That day I did about 6 to 7 roundabouts. It was crazy. So I started from the city, so I did the city road. We went ahead, and then I did a countryside road. Like, there was nobody. It was a countryside, and that was one of the narrow roads, and there was a bicycle ahead of me. I had to overtake the bicycle. Luckily enough, there wasn't any car coming, so I had to just overtake it fast and just pass and go. And it was a hot day. It was a hot summer's day. So I thought this examiner was gonna get tired and be like, oh, let's just go to but I was wrong. He really enjoyed the ride, sitting behind and enjoying the ride. And it was hot, guys. It was hot. It was like 31 degrees Celsius. So hot. So I did a countryside road, and we went ahead from city to countryside. Then he took me to the highway. Oh my god. So we got to the highway, and I had to wait at the entrance, the acceleration lane. I had to wait because it was so busy. And he was like, go. He was like, go. There's you have the chance to go now, just go. So I did go ahead, and I did the highway. Highway, you just go straight, so it's no big deal. So after the highway, I got out of the highway, entered in the deceleration lane, and I had to enter the city again. So from here, we were heading back to the license center, and there was so much of a traffic, so much traffic. So I had to stop, and somebody nearly crossed me, but somebody just crossed me. The person was supposed to give me priority because I was going on the main road, and he was also on the main road, but he was turning left, and I was on his right. I am on the main road, so he had to give me priority, but he didn't give me priority. He just turned, and I had to do that emergency stop. So I did that. It was okay. I didn't put off the engine. Then we went safely, and finally he gave me this card. So it's been a long time coming. Now, another thing with me too is the fact that I have a problem with left and right. Sometimes if you tell me to go right, I think, oh, right and left. So you can just imagine they were saying it in Italian, and right is destra. So if he said destra, I have to think about it I have to translate it to English. Like, okay, destra, right, okay. Then sinistra is left. So I had to, think about it. There was one girl who wrote, the left and right on her hands. So she was like, she also has a problem with, left and right. So if the examiner says left or right, then she looks at her hands and she knows I have to go to the side or that side. So that is it. Now with the test, if there are some things which are unpardonable, even though at the end of the day, it is the examiner who is going to decide if he should give you the license, because there are some things that if you do, some errors that if you commit, like, is a no, like, it's over. The first one is not stopping at the stop sign. Even if it is empty, even if there is nobody there, you would have to stop and go to first gear before proceeding slowly. If you don't stop and you slow down, it is an error, it is wrong, and the test is over. Another thing is the priority, the giveaway sign. If you don't give priority to another car, another moving vehicle, the exam is over. And how they realize that is that maybe you get to a road and there's another car coming and you have the giveaway sign and you think you can just, go fast and, just avoid giving way or just do a quick one. If you make the other driver step on his brake, it's gonna indicate that you didn't give way to him. So exam over for that. Another unpardonable error is not giving priority to pedestrians. If you get to the zebra crossing and there is no traffic light and there is someone there, you have to stop. It doesn't matter if the person just arrived there at that moment or whatever. Even if you see that the person is just walking slowly, just some few centimeters before the pedestrian crossing, you have to stop for the person to cross. Like, it's one of the things which is so unpardonable and it pisses them off. So give priority to pedestrians. And also another annoying thing that you can do is to stop on the zebra crossing, the pedestrian crossing. If there is a queue and cars are moving slowly and you go stop on the pedestrian crossing, it is no, like, it's over. It's an unpardonable error. And with the runabout too, if you're going to the right, if you're going to the left, you definitely have to enter in the inner lane. If you want to be smart and you enter in the outer lane, is another error which is unpardonable. And one crazy thing about the roads here was, on the way was there is one runabout. I hope I can do a drive with me video for you guys one day, and you're gonna see how the narrow roads are. And there is this roundabout, like, it's the first time I'm seeing this in the world. I have never seen this anywhere in the world. A roundabout with a stop sign in the middle. I just hope I'm gonna do a drive with me video and I'm gonna show you guys all that. So I was going with my instructor and we were just going like, it's a roundabout, I have priority or whatever. But no, we got to the middle of the roundabout and there was a stop sign before you exit the roundabout. There was a stop sign for me inside the roundabout. And I was like, whoa, what is this? And I was like, it's one of the funniest and craziest roundabout here in this city. So I had to stop and give priority to those coming from outside, outside the roundabout before I could, go outside myself. So that is it. Is another, crazy thing, It's a hell of a struggle, with this test and everything. So that is it, guys. That is my story. That is how I got this driver's license, this Patente. So this is if you want to do it, if you live in Italy or if you're a foreigner somewhere and if you want to do it, just go ahead and try. You don't have to be so fluent in the language, because I'm not fluent in the language, even though I do understand majority of what people speak. I am not fluent, I am not perfect. So you don't have to wait to be perfect to get your license. Okay guys, so that is it. I need a drink. Okay, beautiful people, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now. Leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to share this video. Until next time, I'm gonna see you again with another nice and interesting one. Bye bye.